All right, so UFC 327 just wrapped up in between Yuri Prohaska and Carlos Ulberg, and I'm going to go through every single fight on the card, starting with the early prelims, ending with the main event. And my word, was this a great fight with a bunch of turns left and right. We got some new fights announced from decisions. We got some fights overturned throughout the entirety of the card, and we're going to start off with the early fight of Charles Radke and Francisco Prado. Now, it was pretty back and forth-ish in the first round, although the stats don't say that much. A lot of the significant strikes went over towards Francisco Prado. I gave Francisco Prado the first round on that, but then from there on, Charles Radke was able to pour on a bunch of wrestling, a bunch of takedowns. Although only one each round, that was all that he needed to secure for most of the round. There were a couple of submission attempts from Francisco Prado, but other than that, there wasn't much. Charles Radke with the round by unanimous decision. Next up, another great fight on the card with Vicente Luque and Kelvin Gastelum. Vicente Luque plus 300 underdog at the time. A lot of people were counting him out. A lot of people thought that him going up to middleweight was going to be too much of a jump, including myself. And it turns out he was able to get it done. Kelvin Gastelum ducked under a couple of punches. And from there, Vicente Luque was able to suture up a very easy anaconda choke out of nowhere for a submission win up in the first round. I would honestly like to see him up against a loser of Bo Nickel and Chris Daukaus up on this UFC white card, which we'll talk about in a second. But it was a good fight. It was a great fight. Next up, we had what was at the time, a majority decision to Marco Medeiros, overturned to a decision majority during the adverts right after the fight, which was kind of weird. But I had Padilla winning the fight, minus the eye poke with the third round, so technically I would have also had it as a draw. But two people had it going Padilla or going a draw. One person had it going Medeiros' way, so it was majority draw. Chris Padilla was really good with his Muay Thai, but Markel Medeiros was really good with his elbows, getting a severe cut on Chris Padilla in the second round. And from there, it was kind of one-way traffic, especially on the third round. Third round, you can kind of see, although the total strikes were right there, most of the significant strikes, percentage-wise, came towards Medeiros. So it was a really good showing. Really good showing. I don't know where to see them going in the division from here on out, but it was a good fight. Next up, Tatiana Suarez, Lupi Godinez. Another easy win for Tatiana Suarez. As soon as it got to the ground, she was able to use her significant wrestling advantage to be able to get the rear naked choke. She's looking for a title fight after this. I think she deserves it. Possibly either up against Weili Zhang if she goes back down, or up against who had the win a couple of weeks ago, Alexa Grasso. Either one of those. A rematch with her would actually be very great, but she has to work on her stand-up if she wants to be able to face Alexa Grasso on the feet. So, really good win by her. Next up, Estevan Rubovic, Maktush Gamrot. Maktush Gamrot won by submission. I forget which submission it was, but just one-way traffic for most of it. Most of the takedowns came by Maktush Gamrot going up against a fence on that double underhooks, getting to the body, dragging him down from the fence. Really good on his entries. Didn't really need much striking other than just a good jab and pivoting out of the power side. So really good showing by Maktush Gamrot. Give him somebody in the top 5. He needs that. Give him an Arman Tsarukyan rematch or something, you know. Next up, Randy Brown, Kevin Holland. In a very lackluster, some would say, fight. The first round was very great, but you could tell throughout the fight, Kevin Holland was beating up Randy Brown's legs. There were multiple welts throughout the entirety of his calf, even after just the first round. Like if I could go by target, yeah, 22 leg kicks taken, which is absolutely insane to see. But he mixed them up very beautifully and was able to win by a unanimous decision over 3 rounds. It's interesting to see. I don't know where he goes from here. Bouncing up and down from welterweight to middleweight is kind of a weird juxtaposition. It's the same thing with Michael Venom Page, him going up and down in weight. You can't really get a title shot off of that or a top 5 opponent unless you stay in that division. So, yeah, but either way, great showing by Kevin Holland. Next up, Aaron Pico, Patricio Pitbull, another okay showing. Very good boxing from Aaron Pico. Mean lead hook to the liver throughout the entirety of the fight. Great boxing. Didn't really show that much in wrestling. Was able to get a couple of takedowns here and there, but wasn't really getting much off of it. So it just shows the fact that Bellator isn't the same as UFC. I can't see Aaron Pico finishing anybody in the top 10, and I definitely don't see Patricio Pitbull defeating anybody in the top 15 at this age. So it'll be interesting to see where they go from here, but Aaron Pico winning this unanimous decision, I think 29-28 on the scorecards. And then we had the retirement fight in between Cub Swanson and Nate the Train Landwehr, which once again was a very quick fight. One-way traffic. Looked like the Cub Swanson of old. With this, the WBC, the Strikeforce era has come to a close. This was the last fighter on the roster. And what a way to go out. Vicious intent with every single one of his strikes. Didn't let up a single time. Hold on just 2 seconds. There we go. I had to let my cat out. But yeah, great retirement fight from Cub Swanson. Threw with intent with every strike that he threw. Knocked Nate Landwehr down multiple times up against the fence. And Herb Dean had to call it off almost immediately. So, good send-off from Cub Swanson. Great showing from Nate Landwehr, but not enough to get it done. Next up, Dominic Reyes versus Johnny Walker. Another very uninteresting fight. But when we look at the strikes by target, 7 strikes to the head, 6 to the body, 29 strikes to the legs of Dominic Reyes. And he was still perfectly fine. So he was able to win by split decision on that. But we got to stop with the whole leg kick parade. 69% of his strikes were to the legs throughout the entirety of the fight. And maybe that was the game plan, but it didn't work out. Dominic Reyes maybe should get a top 10 opponent, maybe get a Khalil Roundtree, somebody that'll be able to put fireworks together with him and pose some danger on the striking game. Johnny Walker, get him somebody in the top 15, or go up to heavyweight, face his brother. Next up, Josh Hockett, Curtis Blades. Great showing by Josh Hockett. A lot of people had a lot of stock in Josh Hockett with the way he was talking throughout the fight. Putting on a Mexican accent even though he's fully American. Having a lightsaber in the backstage, talking to Yuri, talking to everybody else. Kind of put on a showing to where, he's good. He's good. He leaves his chin up in the air way too much. His striking isn't exactly great, but up against a person like Curtis Blades, it was enough. Able to stuff most of his takedowns and able to get up immediately afterwards. So I would want him up against maybe the winner of Alexander Volkov and who's that? Waldo Cortez Acosta. I would love to see that. Up next, Azmat Mirzakhanov versus Paulo Costa. Another good decision on this part. I have Paulo Costa 2-1. Just beating him up, fully ready for the division of 205, whereas Azmat Mirzakhanov honestly could cut down to 185 if he really tried, but with age, going to be at 205. Very good striking displayed on both sides. Very good power from Azmat. Very good technique from Paulo Costa. I think Azmat broke his forearm In between the second and third round, he wasn't throwing anything. Um, Nothing but the lead hand. So, I mean, give Paulo Costa somebody in the top five. Maybe a title shot. Maybe. Next up, the main event with Carlos Ulberg and Yuri Prohashka. It was, for the most part, one-sided traffic. Midway into the first round, Carlos Ulberg tore what was most likely his ACL. And from here on out, it was kind of one-way traffic. Yuri Prohashka shouting at him the entire time, bring the fight, where's the fight? And then while his hands are down, Carlos Ulberg just sends a check left hook out of nowhere, straight onto the button. Out goes Diana. So, I mean, he's going to have to take about 8 to 10 months in order to heal up that leg. I feel really bad for Yuri Prohashka. 4 title shots, none of them he won. Well, he did win that one up against Yuri, or Glover Teixeira. But, I mean, he had to vacate that one, I believe. So, but it's interesting. We're going to have to see Carlos Ulberg in, like, late September, maybe August. And then we'll probably see Yuri go up against Paulo Costa in this one. So, it was very good event. All in all, I give it about an 8 out of 10, maybe an 8.5. The main event really brought it up because nobody was expecting, especially after an ACL tear, for Carlos Ulberg to beat Yuri Prohashka. But here we are. So that'll be it for the video. I guess I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.